Good dog, and welcome back to the Norwegian campaign. Yeah, they still managed to pull some ships out of their sleeves, so we're up against some cruisers again. Lancaster class heavy cruiser, 4 single 10-inch guns, so they're back doing the single gun thing. 190% armor quality, that's pretty impressive. Or is that the same I've got on some of my newer ships, I think. Anyway, and one of the Sentinel class light cruisers, and a bunch of ISISes, and a Sable DD. So we're gonna gun these down, and then see if we can get a peace treaty with France. Still got some naval invasions going with Britain, so they'll have to wait a few months. And here we go. Let's see. Okay, they are all in a line. That's nice. Saves me some trouble. Freydis, you can just follow Venemainen. DDs, you really don't belong here in this fight. Landing torpedo hits on very maneuverable light cruisers is kind of tricky. Flamberger 08. Oh yeah, that's right. I haven't scrapped all of these yet. Actually, since there are so many of them, I'm gonna try with the J33. But only it. I'm not gonna have these this boat slow it down with its lower top speed. Not when it only has one working torpedo launcher. Although, then again, I could just sacrifice it, I guess. Seeing as they are to be scrapped anyway. Just to cut down on the number of ship designs I have. That should make loading a little bit faster. Because at this point in the game, loading does take a while. Let's see, let's just select some targets here. Maud Ilmarinen can actually target the DD. Actually like so, and Riga, with her big 16.5s, can target the heavy cruiser. And we should be able to drop down to cruising speed without making too much of a fuss. There we go, torpedoes have been launched, presumably aimed at my DD. So we're gonna maneuver the line a little bit, make sure they are not accidentally hit. And there we go, land a big hit on Sable. But she's still not disabled. Pardon the attempt at a pun. Okay, which one of these had torpedoes? Liverpool goes down. Challenger. The Challenger has appeared. Okay, we got one torpedo hit out of that. There are the enemy torpedoes. Okay, they were aimed, I thought they would have applied a lot more lead than that. Damn it, Freydis, you did not need to take that torpedo. Thought the enemy torpedoes had applied a lot more lead. Trying to hit my DD. But so far we seem to be good. Maud will probably take one, yes. I was certain those torpedoes would end up way ahead of my formation, given that the DD was going at a higher speed than my battlecruisers, but apparently not. See, where's Challenger? There is Challenger. She needs some attention. Given that she's also got torpedoes. Saber goes down. Okay, it's Saber. I thought it was Sable. But apparently I was wrong. Or maybe that was the class name? Let's see, that's pretty cool with the explosion in the background. I wonder what I just hit. It was a 4-belt pen. That was a pretty devastating hit. That's the front half of the cruiser gone. Oh, you've also launched torpedoes. Of course, you got some of those. Some of the underwater tubes. There we go, flash fire on Challenger. So she still got her torpedoes, but at least she lost her secondary weapons. And now Challenger goes down. I'm just gonna turn the line, actually. They got 5 ships left. I've got 5 battlecruisers. That's fine. I got no torpedoes left though, so really don't have anything to worry about. These maneuvers causing some let's see, Marta, you can just detach. That's simpler. I'm trying to get you back behind Ilmarinen. Pretty good shooting. Marta getting closer, out for blood after seeing Maud take another torpedo. But they are sisters, so kind of makes sense. 183,000 damage. Not bad at all. Freydis, yeah, she also took a torpedo. Probably the heaviest damage taken in this fight. There you go, Pandora just explodes. And they've got one ship left, which is about to go down. And there it goes. Alright. A little bit careless with those torpedoes. I was really certain that they would just go way ahead of my formation. Assuming they were aimed at my DD. Maybe they were, or maybe they weren't. I'm not sure. But that's 160,000 victory points. So, yeah, not bad. Cruiser on cruiser fight. Vidar versus Lancaster. About on par in terms of cost. Similar speed. I've got more firepower though, with 8 11-inch guns versus 4 10-inch guns. They got those torpedoes as an ace up their sleeve. Let's see if they're going to play any part in the battle. The torpedoes, I mean. Let's see. Okay. I think with double guns instead of singles, this would have been a pretty good almost a DD, but heavy cruiser. The armor is decent. Everything else is very decent. In Diesel 2, Auxiliary 4, Shaft 3. Anti-torp 5. Alright. So they have a lot of their ship cost tied up in like the diesel engines and the auxiliary engines and all that stuff. I typically don't go higher than auxiliary 3 and shaft 2, just because that kind of stuff adds quite a bit of weight and cost. I'm not saying it's never worth it, but you get so many of the same benefits just by picking turbo electric drive. Let's see, we're firing at 17 kilometers. Yeah, I cannot AP pen them at that range. Let's angle a little bit. There we go. Vidar only has a regular crew. Okay, so we're on par there. I'm sure this was a veteran ship, but maybe it's not actually seen that much combat if it's just been following around my battleships all the time. Let's try with AP. Okay, they're penning me. And taking out one of my funnels. Let's just stay out of range of their 10-inch guns, because I can outrange this guy. they got an aft belt pen and a funnel pen. Maybe I can pen their extended belts as well. Should be able to. I can only go 25 knots, thanks to the bit of flooding and the funnel having taken a hit. They're hitting my aft belt over and over again. What kind of shells do you have? Standard. Triple base. Increased ammo. How am I taking all this flooding? That shouldn't be aft belt, that should be main belt. Okay, I've taken out their tower at least. Now, if they can pen my my aft belt, then I should be able to pen their fore belt. Getting partial pens. They're almost out of HE. Taking engine damage and I don't know how they flooded out that. That should be main belt protected. Kind of stern tank them like this. No, I cannot. I think my next class of cruisers, I need to make sure the main belt and citadel actually extends to the these bulkheads here, not just almost up to them, but a little bit past them, just to make sure. Okay, let's see if we can get a peace treaty with France. I still don't have any battleships though, but I think I saw them finish construction last month. I'm pretty sure they did. So they should be commissioning right now, and I'm pretty sure it's possible to take ships as war operations if they're in the process of being commissioned. So for Britain, we got 2 turns left here. And we've taken Java. So this task force can go to Singapore. We're no longer over shipbuilding capacity, so I can resume repairs on these. Sent a bunch of my ships to port, so there you go. And I suspended these that are in construction as well. I think, yeah, that one put me over limit. There we go. I'll have to resuspend them again once this task force reaches port, because there are some ships there that also need repair. Alright, let's see what we can get from France. Yeah, Britain has a battlecruiser here. France has... yeah, they do have battleships. Big ones, too. They're not on the fleet roster because they're not in active service. That means, yes, that means they are being commissioned. I'm pretty sure. Alright. And let's see, once I get the engines here, I can untick that one. Same with the armor quality. And then just keep the big guns prioritized. Because everything else is pretty much done. It's down to repeatable techs. Well, except for the rangefinders, but... difference between Radar 1 and Radar 2? Not really that great. I mean, it's a pretty... it's a nice upgrade, but not game-changing. And yes, we do get peace with France. 30 billion. I'm picking up some of your battleships here. They're all Baron class. Big boys. Let's see. That leaves me with 17 billion. And I am taking Laos, of course. And Mauritania taking that one back. Western Sahara taking that one back as well. Yeah, I should have written down more of this stuff. Tunisia, Tripolitania, Southern Algeria. I can pick up a bunch of stuff here. There we go. Niger? Yes. That's as good as it can get, I think. That's what I suggest France should pay. 30 billion war operations. And it should be similar from Britain. I get all 4 battleships. I get some provinces. Very nice. I think I got everything I asked for. I'm pretty sure I did. Nice. Yeah, commissioning. I was right. Nice. Ooh, here we go. Britain. Indomitable class battlecruiser. If I really want to min-max my my gains from these wars, I should try and leave this one alive. Because I like these things. I think I can make it pretty good if I give it a refit. The Canopus, I don't really care. I can sink it. But they're battle cruisers. I would like one of those. I got one battleship, two battle cruisers. I would have liked to have another one of these. Or one of the battle cruisers with bigger guns. But let's give it a try. And then let's design a refit. Alright. Let's see, Yggdrasil. You can probably go home, I think. Yeah, no, you can stick around. You can stick around. Olav Haraldsson definitely needs to be my my flagship here. I got 14.5s and 13.5s on my battlecruisers. That is kind of inadequate when it comes to dealing with those heavy British capital ships. Which is why I wish I had gotten the Lord Warden instead. The original British-built battlecruiser that has, I think, 18.5s. Let's see, Caledonia. And when I say I like these things, I like what I think I can do with it. Not necessarily this specific turret layout, because it is not that great. This one is kind of better. At least it has very decent armor. Let's see. Let's get closer. You can just follow the battleship, I think. There we go. And I'm pretty sure I do outrange the enemy. And they got one of these. 29.4, and that was 30.7. Yeah, Olav Haraldsson does outrange them. 34.7 kilometer range on those 17.5s. Oh, I'm excited to see what I can do refitting those big French battleships. There we go, we are firing. My battlecruisers do not outrange theirs though. Let's see, you guys can just focus that heavy cruiser for now, actually. There we go. Actually score a pretty nice flooding hit on Renown. Gonna score some hits on Haraldsson as well. No, don't you switch targets on me here, my guy. Soleil 14.5s, you can target Caledonia. You go main tower out on Renown. Pretty huge hit. Yeah, let's finish off Renown first and then start dealing with the enemy battlecruiser. Is that a flash fire on Renown? One enemy torpedo. That's from the enemy bow launcher. Yggdrasil. We need to just start dealing with that heavy cruiser. Soleil is taking quite a bit of quite a pounding. Yeah, you are. Soleil, you can actually, if possible, do something with that heavy cruiser. Olav Haraldsson, you need to deal with the enemy big guns. And perhaps make yourself a target before Soleil goes down. She's taking more of a pounding than she was built to take. There we go, flash fire on Caledonia. That is epic. Soleil sinks, sadly. Canaris has done quite a bit of damage, knocking out turrets on Caledonia, which is now essentially out of the fight thanks to flooding. So Haraldsson should be able to first deal with Renown and then finish off Caledonia. Terrible is proving quite a resilient heavy cruiser. Let's see, Renown. Caledonia actually goes down first due to that flooding, and now it's just Renown left and the heavy cruiser. Renown looks like she's also going to go down. There she goes. And there goes the cruiser as well. Alright. Well, losing that battlecruiser was kind of sad though, but... It's a captured ship. I can blame the French. Looks like the game has plenty of stuff lined up for me today. We have a meeting here. Another one of those Lancasters. This time facing my old ships. Sable. Yeah, it is Sable. That is a class name. So the from the first battle, the Saber was a Sable class. So it wasn't just being confused. Alright. Knowing now that these British cruisers are quite tanky, Valkyries, you are destined for the scrapper after this war. Nothing personal. You're just kind of outdated, and I have not saved your design, so I cannot refit you. Yeah, we got the old pre-dreadnoughts. Should be able to do some damage. Maybe. I am being spotted by the enemy. Oh, the enemy has spotted Poseidon, being the biggest ship in my task force. And actually being the only ship in the task force, I would kind of rely on being able to take out that heavy cruiser on her own. And even then, probably only just barely. This is kind of outdated as well. Just not quite as outdated as the the pre-dreadnoughts. But the pre-dreadnoughts actually have, if not better quality armor, they've got thicker armor. The quality difference isn't that great. 160 versus 150. Okay, big guns. Big guns on the cruiser, secondaries on the DD. Sure, we can deal with that. Poseidon, cruiser. In fact, Odin, your 11-inch guns can actually target the DD as well. Before it launches torpedoes, which is too late because it just did. Here we go. Who else but my old pre-dreadnought scoring a main gun hit on that enemy DD? Yeah, 11-inch for 7,000 damage. Only one torpedo? Where did the rest of the torpedoes go? I probably just didn't see them, because my torpedo spotting is quite antiquated. Well, battleships can't take any sonar or hydro or anything like that in dip anyway, but the the base torpedo tower spotting of these pre-dreadnoughts is not very good. But we are taking down this heavy cruiser and the DD. Odin actually doing impressive work. Very nice. And yes, it was 4 battleships versus a heavy cruiser, but this heavy cruiser is worth quite a bit more than any of these battleships. So it wasn't really as unfair of a fight as you would think. I was just lucky that DD didn't hit me with any torpedoes. Yeah, good job here, Odin. Magnus Bodfoot actually doing the most damage here. Much of that being 8-inch hits on Goshawk. Yeah, those 8-inch guns on the Tyr and Magnus Bodfoot, they did quite a lot. It was the 14s on Poseidon that did the most to the enemy cruiser, which I guess is to be expected. She had more 14-inch guns than Tyr and Magnus combined. Now I'm losing a few transports again, but that should not be a long-lasting problem. We got 1 month left of that invasion. Am I over capacity now? No. Actually, we got some battles. We got some convoy battles even. Here we go. 3 of these battle cruisers versus a Canopus class battleship. That's not really a good fight, is it? Now we got a 1v1. Harald Hårfagre versus another British battleship. But before we go and do any of that, let's see. Fort de France, Caribbean. It's quite a bit away. It's being commissioned. All of them are being commissioned. But I want to do the ship design things. Alright. Here it is. The French Béarn class battleship. Let's get full draft. Like so. Let's give it oil 3. Save a bit of weight that way. Quite a bit of weight. Let's give it turbo electric drive, because that's what I like to use. Balanced boilers. Max bulkheads, 28 knots, so she doesn't cause a disaster when working in a division with my other ships. Modern tower enhanced. That is the one I want to use, so that is fine. Angled funnel complex 3. That is that one. We can increase that a bit by going with this one instead. All right, let's remove these secondary guns, or at least the small ones. And the random barbettes and stuff as well, like so. Makes the ship designer lag a little bit less when there are not that many random parts. Electro Hydro 2 steering. Oh, we can go down to Electro Hydro 1, I think. Corrupt 5 armor. I want Modern 1. And I want a triple hull bottom. I want increased AP. Capitalistic 1 should be good enough. Let's see, what is my flash fire chance? 4.7. 6.3. Oh, triple base. That's not what I meant. There we go. Tube powder. These are Mark IIs. Let's bump them up to Mark IV. .1. 47 gun caliber length. Let's see, these are 52. If I just make them let's see, 55. They can be 6.1s. That's 155 millimeter. Do I want to keep this secondary tower though? I got some options here, it seems. Compact secondary tower 1. That is the tiniest one. Let's remove that for now. Let's see what else I have. Got nothing that really fits. That really looks like it fits with that main tower. I can put that there. Put that there. Put these guys back here. And like so. That's a lot of 6.1 inch guns. This turret needs to be back a little bit so it doesn't interfere with that one. This one needs a bigger barbette. You cannot still be unhappy, can you? Some guns have poor sector of fire. Why is your sector of fire poor? I think you're lying to me. Yeah, there you are. Called your bluff. Does that work? It still looks too small for the turret ring. I mean, game-wise it does work. It just doesn't look right. Better? Yeah, better. Ship is now overweight. A little bit. Aft weight offset. Yeah, I know. Can move that like so. Ship is now not overweight. We do have a lot of inner belt layers here. Let's go coincidence. Electro Hydro 2 turrets. Let's go with that one. Let's see how Barbette 3 is still good enough. Barbette 2 is still good enough. Semi-auto. Let's go auto 1. Do I want to keep the RDF? Maybe? 18 on the main belt is actually the maximum. 3 on the third inner belt is surprisingly good enough. I think 1.3 on the third inner deck should also be good enough. 7 on the main deck, is that even necessary? Maybe. I got the inner layers to mostly keep me safe. Alright, so we've shaved off some weight again. Do I want to keep the fore and aft belt layers this thin? What is my resistance? 130. Crew quarters can be standard. 130 resistance is not it's not too bad, it's just not amazing. How about I go anti-torp? 5. 131. A little bit better. But I've got displacement to spare to play with. 1.4 on the fore and aft decks, good enough, I think. These 6-inch turrets need a little bit more armor, in my opinion. They can't have that much more armor, but they can have a little bit. So these are 5% increased length. How about I make them 50s? Reload time is now 80.6 seconds. If I make them baseline, they should be 47s. Weren't they 47 before? It's doing the thing where it doesn't update them. I think they're 45s. So 66.6 seconds. And 36.7 kilometer range. 37.8, 71.9. Yeah, they gotta be 45s because 12% increased length makes them 50s. So 80.6, up from 66.6 second reload. I mean, it's 14 seconds, but I get more range out of it. But if I do this, my deck pen actually goes up. Belt pen at 20,000 is 20 inches. Or 23.1. How about we keep them baseline but increase diameter? Yeah. I mean, I got 17.5s, I got 16.5s, I got 18.5s. Yeah, no, wait. I almost forgot. Quad turrets. As I have been reminded. Many a times. Do I want to make them all quad turrets? Or do I want to do like a mix of quads and doubles? Yeah, I know you get a little bit of a negative modifier to accuracy from having different number of gun barrels per turret. But it's not that major. Now we can probably go up to heavy shells. Yes. And then bump the barbette up again. 2% flash fire chance. good enough. Not too bad. And remember, I got 4 of these suddenly. 11-month refit time though. Oh, baby. 9 months. Let's keep the B and X turret as triples, and have A and Y turrets as quads. That cuts down on the refit time. I do want to have a little bit more fore and aft belt, just so I don't get bullied by cruisers too much. Like so. I think that is decent. Bit of an aft weight offset. I mean, 0.1% is nothing. It is really nothing. No, I think 5 on the fore and aft belts is actually good enough. Yeah, they are 45s. I told you. That's what I said. $74, $81. Yeah, because I made them 20.5s. If I make them 47s again now, that does not cut down on the refit time. Let's see, 4 then on the fore and aft belts. There we go. Or do I want to make them 50s after all? Just to slightly increase that range. Now, it's not that much of a range improvement. I'm going back again. Okay, tertiary battery. We had what, 4.2s to begin with. Oh, we can pick some of these Bofors, like that, anti-aircraft guns. They of course also fit up there. Yeah, let's nix these and just put the quad 4-inch guns there instead. They don't fit there. So we're putting them back then on these platforms. Alright. I'll say that is kind of decent. These 6-inch turrets look very oversized for these upper barbettes here. But we can just pretend not to notice that. It's not going to be visible unless you zoom in. So, yeah, sure. Let's make the 2-inch guns into 1.6s. Because that is roughly 40 millimeters. Like so. You cannot put any more armor on the 4-inch guns. That's fine. Should I pick increased ammo? I'm kind of betting on... Yeah, the reload time is kind of long on these. So they should not actually run out of ammo. I hope. But I've thought that before. Also, interesting little thing about how weapon groups work in this game. These will be counted as, even though they're both 20.5 inch guns, if I lose one of the quad turrets to a flash fire or something, that will only take away ammo from the quad turrets. The triple turrets will be unaffected. So it kind of adds a little bit to survivability. Yeah, I'm thinking I like this. That's an 8-month refit though, but it's better to refit a battleship for 8 months than to build a new one for what, 3 years? Yes. I haven't even looked at the territory I got from France. Taking these ships was the main objective of the war, kind of. Bit long on the fore and aft belts though, so I'm probably gonna take some damage from that. But with, let's see, 14 20.5 inch guns, they should be able to dish out quite a bit of damage in return. And because they're being commissioned now, I can't actually start the refit right now. So let's see, we got 2 battles and a convoy. Got another cruiser on cruiser, another one of these Lancasters. Or I got battleship on battleship. I mean, either one should be a very close fought fight, I guess. Let's see if we can actually do, it's another VDAR class, same as the one before, the one that sunk. So let's see if this time it might go better. These are some solid cruisers, so let's gonna do this one before I end the episode. Yeah, they're quite tough cruisers, aren't they? So, plan now. Stay out of their range for a bit. Kind of just kite away. Hopefully without taking hits, so I'm still fast enough to do that. You're only doing 20 knots? Why? No, you're speeding up. Yeah, we're almost in range. I want to soften them up a little bit first. Because if I have that range advantage, why not make use of it? And there we go. They are in range. I am not in range of them yet. I'm making cruising speed. So far they're only in range if I fire AP. HE, slightly shorter range. There we go, a bit of flooding. Very nice. So I score the first bit of flooding. That's a good start. That makes it easier to control the engagement and maintain my range advantage. A little bit more speed. A little bit more kiting away. They're doing 28.7 now, despite the flooding. But I think that's also all they're capable of now. Let's see, 12-inch conning tower, 3-inch superstructure, 8-inch turrets. So I have strayed to within their gun range. But I can exit it. Just like so. There we go. No longer in range. Damage to their main tower. Maybe I'm being a little bit overly cautious here, but I don't want to lose 2 of these 1v1s in the same episode. Just barely skirting their gun range. And once I think they've been softened up enough, then I'm gonna close in for the kill. To within like 12,000 meters, maybe? To start going through their main belt. Main tower damaged. Not taken out. Taking out some secondary guns, always nice. If only I could actually take out their main tower. That would be very nice. See, good hope. Still hopes. Actually can catch me. But so far, she can only cope. In range again. angle away a little bit more. I actually took a hit there, but it bounced. Now I'm once again out of their range. HE doing most of the work here. My AP not really sufficient at 20 kilometers. But that is fine. I will run out of HE eventually. And I think I will just take that as my cue to getting close with AP. Let's unmask all the guns for a bit. I'm just doing 27.6 knots now, slow down a little bit more. Another hit to the main tower. I have to angle away a little bit more. Main tower is out. Good. That is very good. Once again, out of their main gun range. Unmask the guns again. More hits to the main tower, which is already out. They are also running out of HE for their main guns. I've not taken any damage yet. They've hit me 9 times. But my armor has held. There we go, getting some full pens. Still got 37 rounds of HE. Some hits to their funnel. "23 rounds of HE left. They're down to let's see, 55 rounds of HE, but they're firing AP now. And there we go, it takes some flooding. 4-belt pen. I think I've got it under control. And we are now down to firing AP. There we go, fire control damaged. That's what I was after. We're gonna pummel them a little bit with 8p before getting closer. A little bit more flooding. That is good. And a little bit more flooding. Even better. Very nice. Kind of turning the tables since last time. And even now being the first to score a big funnel hit on the enemy ship, which is now down to 23 knots. Let's do some more work at this range, because it does seem to be working. And then close in. These 10.3 inch guns do pack a mean punch though. Triple base is pretty good for cruisers. Now that I've got it, I might refit some of mine to use it. I don't like using it on battleships because with bigger guns you get more of a flash fire chance, and then you really start needing tube powder to not just make your battleship a big floating bomb. But cruiser guns typically don't have that great of a flash fire chance to begin with, so you can get away with using triple base, which is basically an advanced form of cordite. So in game here you get more range, but instead of giving you a plus to flash fire chance, you actually get a slight minus. So it's a quote-unquote safe propellant, just not as safe as tube powder. I lost my secondary tower. And the AI gets so insane accuracy with those single barrel guns. There you go, flooding them in the rudder compartment. Is that going to take out the rudder as well? A bit more flooding, and I will close in. I've said that before, but I actually do mean it. So there we go. That was a solid hit. Amidships. That might be an engine damage hit. Once the flooding goes up a bit. I'm gonna unmask some more of my guns now. There we go. Not taking this one lightly. Not after last time. But I think we have enough of an advantage now. That we can close in for the kill. There we go. They're hitting me in return though. Damaging my main tower. We detonated some ammo. Good Hope really not looking so hopeful now, but it's not over yet. They're still fighting back. And there goes my main tower. Do need to cause more flooding on their ship. And there goes my fire control as well. Got both my towers out, but at this range. There we go. Alright. Yeah, maybe next time I'll see about giving these ships a refit. See if I can make them a little bit more solid. Or maybe just wait until I get the Mark V 11s. And that will be their final refit. And in that... by that time I should have modern armor too as well, which should be helpful. So that's it for this time. Next time we're doing old battle cruisers versus big battleship, and we're doing big battleship versus big battleship, and probably some more things as well, but I don't know yet what that will be. Yeah, Britain. Oh, and yes, by the way, I did see a couple turns ago, before I started recording this, Germany is actually building one of the share design battlecruisers, one of the Alfarius something something. When I started the campaign, I didn't actually have any DIP share designs in my share design folder, but I downloaded quite a few from Brother Munro's Discord channel and put them in. So yeah, fun to see that the AI actually built share designs this far into the campaign. Yeah, see, there it is. One of those. .313 BC Alfarius class. Right. Alright. Goodbye, and take care.